y'all. Today I'm sharing my June garden planting calendar based on the moon phases and the astrological signs. If you follow this calendar, it's an overview that will help you know the best days to plant, transplant, sow seeds, and even when to avoid planting altogether, plus a bonus when to make life changes. Now, I know this sounds really woo-woo, but farmers have been using these systems for centuries. And it's a lot like the Farmer's Almanac, it's just more detailed. This is going to be a free Notion template. The link will be in the description, but you can screenshot this or copy this onto your own calendar, whatever system works best for you. I have been using this planting by the sign system for well over a decade, and I have seen my garden improve tremendously. So I wanted to share so you can have a wonderful garden too. So to start off with, we're going to use the moon phases. And if I could only choose one part of this system, it would be the moon phases. This is where I started, and it is so simple. So June begins with the moon already in the dark phase. The full moon occurred on May 31st, and that began the dark moon period. So we had our lightest day with the full moon, and now we're moving from light to dark. And that's when we start the dark moon phase. The dark moon phase stays in force until June 14th when the new moon begins and the light moon takes over. So the new moon is the darkest day. We will be moving from the dark phase to the light moon phase, and that's when we have our light moon phase. So the light moon phase remains until June 29th, and that's when the full moon returns and the dark phase begins again. Now, the rule with the light moon phase, and the dark moon phase is you want to plant your below ground crops during the dark moon phase, like your potatoes, sweet potatoes, carrots, radishes, beets, those types of things. And then you want to plant your above ground crops during the light moon phase, like your corn and tomatoes, peppers, and melons. We have certain days for flowers and peas and beans too. I don't suggest to plant them on those days, but everything else, those are great days to plant them. So we are going to look at the calendar for the astrological signs. So the moon phase is super easy. You can basically use that system and track it every month very easily on your own. So we're going to start with the very fertile days. So these are the most productive planting signs, and that's Pisces, Taurus, Cancer, and Scorpio. Pisces rules June 7th and 8th, so that is an excellent day for starting your below ground crops while the moon is still in the dark moon phase. But we're going to avoid planting anything on the 9th and the 10th because those are killing days. And I know that sounds really crazy, but these are like days best served to do like your weeding, any like fence row cleanup, things like that. You don't want to do any seed starting, transplanting, anything like that on those days. So Taurus rules from June 11th through June 13th, and this is another highly fertile period. Cancer rules from June 16th and 17th. And since the moon phase will then be in the light moon phase, this is outstanding days for above ground planting. Also, Scorpio rules June 24th through June 26th, and this is also excellent days for above ground crops. So we have 9 excellent or very fertile days to plant this month. We also have fertile days, and these are like so days. They are excellent days. They're just only slightly less productive than the fertile days. So our fertile days are Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Aquarius. So May 31st through June 6th all fall under these fertile signs, and we will be in the dark moon. So this will be ideal for below ground crops. Sagittarius rules May 31st through June 1st. Um, Capricorn rules June 2nd through June 4th. Aquarius rules June 5th through June 6th. Then later in the month, these fertile signs return to June 27th through June 3rd or July 3rd, excuse me. And then Sagittarius rules June 27th and 28th. Capricorn rules June 29th through July 1st. So there are quite a few days. Also, if we're just going to go ahead and go into July just a little bit, Aquarius rules July 2nd and 3rd. So since the moon remains in the light through June 29th, these days begin as above ground planting and then switches to the below ground planting days after the moon changes on the evening of June 29th. Okay, another thing that we have are days to avoid planting. These are the no planting days, the killing signs, and that's always going to be Aries and Leo. You do not want to plant during these signs. Aries rules June 9th through June 11th. And let's see, I guess actually June 9th through June 10th because it's the 11th. It changes early in the morning, so I don't count that. So it'll only be through the 10th. Leo rules June 18th and June 19th. And let's see, these days, again, like I was saying before, are days you want to do your like weeding, cultivating, fence row cleanup, garden maintenance, mowing, any other chores that don't involve planting. And then we're going to have our bean and pea days. Gemini is known as the sign for this, and I am a big believer in this one. I struggled for forever to get peas to grow, and I started using this system, and then I finally was able to have all the beautiful peas that I love so much. So Gemini rules June 13th through the 15th, but the 13th and 14th, the moon is in the dark moon phase. So since that's the case, that's when you would plant your below ground crops. That doesn't really jive. So we got to change that. And I would basically say to not plant on those days. And if possible, to plant on June 15th because it is like absolutely perfect to plant like your southern peas or your green beans, those types of things, pole beans, anything like that. That would be great to do on the 15th. Now we're going to move on to our flowering days. And these signs are Virgo and Libra. Those are always flowering signs. Virgo rules June 20th and 21st. Libra rules June 22nd and 23rd. These are all excellent days for like flowers, flowering shrubs, and even like your ornamental plants. You would want to avoid planting vegetables during these signs because they're considered bloom days. A lot of people say that your vegetables will just bloom and they won't actually fruit. I'm kind of on the fence on that one, whether I believe it or not, but there are other ones that I am 100% a big believer on. So we were also talking about how we could make changes and like there are certain days that are best to do this. So this is a really interesting part of this system. So basically we have 9 excellent days in June for starting something new or if you're just wanting to stop an old habit. The best days are June 1st through June 8th and then also again on June 30th. So these dates occur when the moon is in the dark moon phase and the signs are moving through the lower portions of the body from Sagittarius through Pisces. So examples of changes you might want to do is starting a diet, if you want to start exercising, quit smoking, if you have any elective surgery you could schedule or dental work. Of course, if this is an emergency, you would always do that as soon as possible. Another thing, if you're like weaning children or young animals, that is a great thing to do. And I am also going to insert a video here of something I seen that I thought would be very helpful if you were trying to wean children off of pacifiers. I'll have that video here.
Felt that Bible belt, and I know what soap tastes like. I've done my share of wrong, but I was raised upright.
Other changes are just to simply begin a new habit. This pattern again is from July 1st through July 8th. And something else that's really cool about this system, if you're needing to pour gravel or have like stepping stones or things like that, the best time to do this is in the light moon phase. Even if you're putting in fence and you have like fence posts, that's from June 15th through June 29th, the light moon phase. So you would want to avoid June 1st through June 14th for that because it's the dark moon phase. And the reason you would want to do that is because whenever, according to the moon gardening, and I have tried this, and this is one of the ones that I totally believe in. If you spread your gravel during the dark moon phase, it is more likely to sink and settle into the ground. Same with like fence posts and stepping stones, and it really is crazy. It's so true. I need to make a video and show this one day because there are so many things that just kind of blow your mind. So I'm also going to include my June gardening list here. I'm going to try and get this to go down. It's not wanting to listen. Here we go. My like June garden to-dos. This is kind of like my reminders of things. I keep things here like a list of my to-dos. I also have like things that I need to remember to harvest and preserve. I even keep track of things that are blooming because I'm trying to be better about having blooms all year long, but I thought I would include that too, and you can have access to that and change that if that's helpful at all to you. Also, there was something really kind of woo-woo that I had seen online and I thought it was really cool and wanted to share it too, so I'll have that video inserted here.
Here's a real simple way to hypnotize a chicken. All you have to do is draw a line straight out from their beak, and they're hypnotized. They won't move, like at all. Buddy, come on. For whatever reason, this just puts them in a trance, and they won't move. Hey, buddy.
Isn't that wild? I could not believe that whenever I seen that. So, back to our system for our quick June highlights. June 1st through 3rd, or I'm sorry, June 1st through the 8th are our best days for making changes. June 7th and 8th are very fertile planting days for below ground crops. June 9th through 11th are no planting. June 11th through 13th are very fertile planting days. June 15th is the absolute best day to plant your peas or beans. June 16th and 17th are also outstanding above ground planting days. June 18th and 19th, no planting. June 20th through the 23rd are flowers only. June 24th through 26th are very fertile above ground planting days. June 27th through 30th are fertile planting days, both above and below ground. So, as always, you can only follow one part of the system, focus on the moon phases. It's super simple. You would plant your above ground crops during the light moon phase and below ground crops during the dark moon phase. However, you would still want to continue avoiding the killing signs like the Aries and Leo and reserve the Virgo and Libra for flowers only. So I suggest that, especially the killing signs. I have really had good luck doing that. So I hope this June overview helps you plan your garden and get the most from your planting efforts. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would love to know if you have tried this method of gardening or just what you're growing this year. Leave me a comment below if you're new and would like this kind of content. Please consider subscribing. We would love to have you. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.